Right, stop what you're doing. You need to listen up, guys, because Aston Villa are genuine title contenders. It's true, and I can prove it, okay? Now, we told you a month ago about their style of play, how they played, and that was all well and good, and we've suggested then that they were good enough to play in the Champions League next year to get in those top 4 or 5 spaces. But it's come to the point where there are multiple reasons that need showcasing as to why they need to be taken seriously. I still don't think anyone's taken them seriously, because they are truly better than the top 6. Like, literally better than the top 6. So I'm going to tell you 6 reasons as to why Aston Villa are genuine Premier League title contenders, and I'm going to let you know which teams they're better than and why. And it's going to blow your mind, because these are the strengths of these other big teams, and Aston Villa are actually better than a lot of them at a lot of those metrics. 6, in fact. And as it's Christmas, there may even be a bonus reason at the end. You lucky, lucky, lucky dogs. Dogs? So the first reason that we've got is something that derives from their unique and effective style of play, and that is how they defend. And how they defend using depth, or lack of depth, that is. Aston Villa have caught their opponents offside more than any other team in the league, and the gap between them and second place Tottenham is a joke. Yep, that's right, Tottenham with that high line. Now, they've caught out their opponents offside 74 times this season. The next best is Spurs with 48. The Premier League average is 28.9. The only thing that matters here, there's only one question when it comes to this offside, is how long until people copy this, because it's genius management, but it's brilliant play, and I think it will be something that will be copied across the EFL and world football. Now, obviously, people have done the offside trap before, but to this level, no. Now, this is a screenshot from literally the first 10 seconds of the Arsenal match, and it encapsulates how switched on the Villa players are in executing this offside trap and why it works for them time and time again. So, if I circle the main man, not John McGinn, Martinelli, here, he is the one going up for a header. Now, before Kai Havertz is able to even get on the ball, because it looks like Martinelli's going to win that header, which he does, the body language of the Aston Villa centre-backs is very, very clear here. They understand what they're doing, how they're going to step up, and how they're going to stop the runners from being able to do what they want to do and utilising offside, which I think a big part of this is the fact that you've got VAR there to sort of back you up, so to speak. As you can see, Martinelli is going to go up for this header. If we move it on one, you can see Kai Havertz. Now, even before Kai Havertz has touched the ball, this back line is absolutely stunning, and Gabriel Jesus is offside. Kai Havertz knows he wants to play into that space, but Gabriel Jesus is offside. Actually, Bukayo Saka is kind of offside as well. That line is utterly, utterly stunning. It's amazing, and it's high. It's a very bold tactic, but it's quite a safe one as well because of VAR. Right, here's your second reason. So we've talked about the defending capabilities of Villa. Now it's time for that little bit of spice. Ooh, from their attack. Now, from open play, they are exceptional. Exceptional in the way of exploiting space in transition. It leads to a plethora of chances each game, and one stat in particular not only proves it, but should be very, very humbling, a stat, to the other teams within the Big Six. And that, of course, is non-penalty XG. Now, they are with non-penalty XG per 90 of 1.66. That puts them 5th in the league. But the crazy part of this stat is how far ahead of Arsenal and Manchester United they are. So Arsenal are creating 1.53 and Man United 1.44. But now have a look at the table for non-penalty XG per 90, and we'll highlight Arsenal and Manchester United down there. Aston Villa are clear. For the third reason, it's their style of attack that I want to highlight next, and how Unai Emery has created a side that creates chances frequently, quickly, and effectively. The next stat that we're going to have a look at are the direct attacks. Now, a direct attack is classified as an open play sequence that starts just inside the team's half and has at least 50% of movement towards the opposition's goal, with that team ending with a shot or a touch in the opposition box. Now, Aston Villa have created 39 direct attacks. There is only one team in the league that has created more, and that's Liverpool, as you can see, with 42. What's really interesting, and the counter-argument would be that they only have one way of playing. if you're going to kind of go big on this and the fact that they're high on this metric. But when you look closely at the table, you notice that they have actually created more build-up attacks than Liverpool. And actually, they match each other. If I maybe get rid of that, you can see 42, 42, 39, 39, which is a little bit odd. Okay? And Man United have only created 2 more build-up attacks, as you can see underneath, than Aston Villa as well. They've got a diversity in how they play, and it shows. They have a rock and roll style of football, and it's also not bound to one method, one attacking method. And having said that, look, I love rock and roll style football, and the excitement it brings, I think, is another layer to this. You know, they have the same excitement level as a Liverpool, and the stats back it up. The next reason, of course, is their home form. 8 wins from 8, and if we have a look at the home table, you can see, and when we break it down, it's even more unbelievable. 25 goals scored and only 5 goals conceded is absolutely fantastic. It's a joke. It's an utter joke. Look, you know, you can see how far they are ahead of the next best when it comes to goal difference. But to put this into context, you know, one team when we're talking about home form, it's got to be Man City, right? In terms of Man City, on average, they are conceding 0.89 goals per 90 at home in the Premier League last season. And bear in mind, they only lost 1 match at home all season last year. Aston Villa, right now, are conceding 0.63 goals at home per 90 this season. That blows Man City's defensive record out of the water over the long run. Another interesting stat is no Premier League team has ever won every single home match for the duration of a season. The most anyone has ever managed is 18, and of course there are 19 matches in a season. 4 teams have won 18 home matches in a single season. Chelsea in 05-06, Man United in 2010-11, and Man City in 11-12 and 18-19, and Liverpool in 19-20. It also needs to be said that every single one of these teams did what? They won the league. All that said, you know, surely Villa will not be the first ever team to win every home match in the Premier League season. Could they? Now, next we have a stat that bodes very well for a team that has league title aspirations, which is what this video has been about. If you're not up to speed by now, I'm struggling here. Aston Villa, Premier League contenders. Okay? We all together? We're all on board? Right. So this next stat is the XG to goal conversion rate. So we're going to look at what that stat is, don't worry. But we're also going to break it down by looking at which of the Aston Villa players are the ones contributing to this stat so brilliantly. So first of all, Villa are currently in 4th position in terms of outperforming their XG. The stat of 3.2, it means that they've scored 3 goals more than they should have according to their expected goals. Now, this means that they are more clinical in front of goal, or if you are a cynical person, you would suggest that they are just running hot and really, really lucky. But I would suggest they are far more clinical, and they are far more clinical than the likes of Arsenal, Tottenham, Newcastle, Liverpool, and Man United. And Man United, can we just take a second to look at Man United? Because an XG underperformance of minus 7.5, you can say, that's luck. That's a hell of a lot of bad luck. A hell of a lot. And generally, I think people are considering that Man United are being lucky in some of the victories that they're getting this season as well. So what this shows is it shows the gulf in quality between Villa and Man United this season. Out of the players to score a goal for Aston Villa this season, only 2 of them are currently underperforming their XG. So that means that as a squad, they are mostly overperforming, but that doesn't have to be a bad thing. It shows how highly Unai Emery has them performing. Leon Bailey is the best example of this. He's registered 2.7 XG this season, but has in fact scored 5 goals, including, of course, a very important one against Man City. Only 5 players in the whole of the Premier League are outperforming their XG more than Bailey. So he's turned into this unlikely rock star in this rock and roll football under Emery this season. Now, the last reason that we have, before revealing the special bonus reason, of course, which actually makes this the penultimate reason, is how mistake-free Aston Villa are as a team. Now, this stat is maybe the most interesting of all of the ones in this video. And the table that we're about to show you, it shows how many errors teams in the Premier League have made, which has then resulted in an opposition shot. So here's the table. And as you can see, Aston Villa, so mistakes leading to an opponent's shot, they're currently joint second least in this metric. But the fascinating thing about Villa is that they've managed this while still playing out from the back and playing a brand of football that does lend itself to mistakes from time to time. And the teams that I can prove it, the teams at the bottom, it highlights this perfectly, unbelievably so. You can see Tottenham have made the most mistakes leading to an opponent's shot. And then it's Arsenal with 10. Burnley, of course, we've seen their open, expansive style of play. Fulham scoring a lot of goals this year. And Liverpool with 9 as well. And even Manchester City have conceded 8 themselves. So not only does this show that Aston Villa are less error-prone than other teams in the top 6, but it also shows that they are switched on at all times. And that's something that you would have seen at the very start of the video with the early offside trap call that we were talking about with Arsenal. And the reason for this is that Unai Emery has cultivated a sense of togetherness and an accuracy within the team that you can see that every player is playing for each other, and they're not rolling in the deep with these guys down the bottom here with the errors that they're putting forward. They're right up the top with teams that are far more conservative, like West Ham and Palace, or a transitional team that doesn't own the ball like Man United as well. Nottingham Forest, great example. Luton, a great example as well. It doesn't make sense for Villa to be there, but they are. Now, before I give you the bonus reason, one thing I do want to share with you guys is something my dad said to me this week. Now, QPR have been struggling recently, but we won 3 games on the trot, so life's great, okay? And on our way into the ground, into our seats, there's a wall with lots of players and amazing magical moments painted on the walls. And when we started chatting, my dad said to me, you don't realise how big those moments are in the moment. So before I give you this bonus reason, I do just want to say that ignore everyone if you're a Villa fan. Ignore absolutely everyone who thinks that, oh, okay, maybe it's not going to happen. Maybe they're running a little bit hot. F them. Dream. What is the point otherwise? Because this is the stuff. And these are the moments. And when was the last time you were battling for the title, Aston Villa fans? What was it, 1999 under John Gregory? So go for it. Believe in it. And I think there was a coach, I read an article, the coach of Columbus Crew, he said, impossible is an opinion. And I love that. And so it is absolutely not impossible. And it is backed up by the stats that Aston Villa are real contenders. And the bonus reason is, I think it's the best reason as to why they are truly title contenders, because it comes from the best source of them all. Unai Emery himself has said that they are in contention for the title. And that is all the belief you need to realise that Aston Villa aren't just here to take part, they are here to take over. Speaking of impossible, people are saying that we can't get to 300k subscribers by the end of this year. We are 2k away. If you think impossible is just an opinion, then hit that subscribe button and a notification bell as well.